I missed this last week, and one thing that I've learned is that if you miss something one week, you're usually okay. But if you miss it twice, then you are breaking a habit. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do it this week. Just some general catch-up stuff. I didn't have any real big events. I got a couple things I want to talk about, but no huge underlying events that warranted being in the title. Uh, so I'm here in Tampa, Florida. As it turns out, I was about one flight short of making status for next year, and I was close enough. And I think I'll have enough 2023 travel already lined up that it made sense for me to take one extra flight. Had considered briefly flying just somewhere, right? I could fly for the amount of money I needed to spend because this actually wasn't miles or segments. It was Delta's medallion qualified in dollars I was short, right? So I had plenty of miles, but a couple of flights earlier in the year when flying was still reasonably affordable. They were pretty cheap, and as a result, I ended up a little bit short of the mileage threshold or the dollar threshold. So almost flew to Cleveland, rented a car, drove home. Probably would have done that maybe tomorrow. Instead, decided, worked it out with Heather, or my wife, that I could come down to Tampa for a couple nights. So booked the flight, bought the flight, used hotel points, stayed down here at Residence Inn, relatively near the International Plaza Mall thing down here that Right Boom and Percy Con, a couple other events I've been at. I've had a couple of fun days. Went out yesterday, went over to the Cyber people, saw the people at CyberFox. Adam was a great host. Spent about an hour with their team. They asked me a bunch of questions about MSPs. I was glad to always answer. Kind of got grilled. It was really interesting walking in and like, oh yeah, here, like now you're a centerpiece. I wasn't intending that, but it was good in the end. Afterwards, went out to dinner with Adam, with Spencer, and Tony Francisco. Had a really nice dinner. Blew my diet out of the water yesterday, though, which has me feeling not so great today. Didn't drink too much, but did okay there. After we ended up doing that, I went over to another hotel with Wes, and we saw Mike Reeks for a while and hung out with him for just a little bit. But he had a 5 a.m. flight this morning because he was essentially doing the same thing I was, except for hotel nights. So he had a 5 a.m. flight to get home this morning. And I came back. Slept overnight, did get my workout today. I'm kind of getting a groove on how to do these things at hotels. Not great. I wasn't the strongest at been. I haven't really been drinking, so 3 drinks last night, 2 old fashions, and then just a small pour of bourbon. I could definitely tell today that I had something to drink yesterday. My heart rate was elevated all night, and my just no energy. So hopefully not getting sick. I don't think I am, but hoping that's not the case. Today I went over to the ConnectWise headquarters. Pretty unbusy there. Pretty empty. It's a Friday. It's 2 weeks before Christmas, so I kind of expected that. Jason wasn't actually in. He's in New York for some reason. I think maybe family. But Tony Thomas grabbed me, kind of showed me around. Went to a little lunch with him. Had a good lunch with a good conversation with him about all things industry, all things MSP. He's always fun to talk to. He's got a lot of really great perspective and ideas and vision, I'll call it. He's a fairly good visionary. So had lunch with him, came back here, kind of been chilling, hanging out, doing a little bit of work. Now I'm getting ready to go find dinner, see if I can find some people that want to hang out tonight. I got a couple people I'm going to text. I'm bad at planning these sorts of things, so I didn't really set up anything other than hanging out with Adam yesterday with anybody, so don't have any definitive plans yet. So we'll see how that goes. I figured I'd give a fitness update as about shortly after I started this vlog thing, or I started with a trainer. Actually, it was slightly before I started with the vlog thing. I started with a personal trainer named Ben Canning, who is he's a great trainer. I've been very happy with the program so far. But that's part of the reason that I missed last Friday. part of the reason I've been a little bit less active on social media and LinkedIn is that I've been working out 3 times a week, and that's just like weight workouts. I also have right now it was 60 minutes, and then last week he upped it to 80 minutes, and now this week it's 90 minutes of cardio I have to do a week on top of the weight training, which takes about an hour per session. I had my very first. I did a structured gym workout last Wednesday. So Wednesdays he's got gym workouts programmed for me. I actually went over lunch at the office down to the YMCA downtown where we're members. It took about an hour, 20 minutes. Actually ran long. I didn't hurt myself. Sometimes I think I might have hurt myself, especially on the leg press machine. It was definitely a shocker to realize that the leg press machine with no weight on it was 167 pounds. I got in the thing, it's got 50 on it. I'm like, oh, this will be easy. And I pressed it. I'm like, why is this so hard? And then between sets, I looked and I'm like, oh, I was actually doing 217 pounds. But my form's probably not great on those things, and doing those things with tempo has been really challenging. But the end result is I'm down about, let's see, as of this morning, if I take my this morning weight, I am down 30 pounds from ChannelCon in August. And I'm feeling pretty good. Got to keep it rolling down to a more achievable rate. Weight, we'll see how that goes. Feeling pretty strong. I'm feeling very strong today. My motivation to work out today, I was scale 1 to 10, was like negative 37. Didn't want to do it. Went down to the gym and hotel. Hotel gyms are really variable. This one's not great. It's got some dumbbells, of which somebody seems to have stolen the 10-pound ones. Luckily, all the weights or all the exercises I do today have progressed past 10-pound dumbbells, and didn't really have any mats or anything, no cable machine, nothing. So I'm the weird guy now that travels with resistance bands when I go to a hotel. So I did my workout. It wasn't my best effort, or I mean, it was. I was a little crushed for time because I had a meeting, and I just was not feeling it, but I got it done. So I'm sore and have a good amount of downs, delayed onset muscle soreness from my Wednesday workout. So it was pretty miserable this morning. But again, I finished it. I have about 3,000 more steps to do today. I haven't been walking as much as I thought I would here. I've actually been sitting in the sunshine for a couple hours, just reading and working on some stuff. And then I'll go out after this. I actually might walk over the International Plaza Mall if I don't immediately find somebody who wants to go out. It's a good walk, get some dinner with a little bit better macros than yesterday was. But I've got some other interesting things that have kind of happened as part of this. I am going to run, share it here. I am signed up now for the Glass City Half Marathon in April of next year. It will be the 5th time, I believe, I've run the Glass City Half, 4th or 5th. No, maybe the 3rd or 4th. It'll be the 4th time I've run the Glass City Half. I've also done the Muddy Half once, and I did the Detroit Half once. So it's my 6th total half marathon, but it's the 4th time I've done the Glass City one. That's a good race. One of the goals I set down when I started with my trainer was that I really wanted to put myself in a position where I could, do these sorts of things. And I'm there now, right? My cardio is starting to come back up. So I've started running. My actual training, I use Hal Hitchens, I believe his name is, program. It actually doesn't start till January 29th, but it assumes that you can run 3 miles and then 4 miles on the first weekend. I can't, so I will. I probably actually could run 4 miles at this point. It's pretty slow though, so I'm doing some maintenance stuff to get up to the speed that I'm comfortable at. And I'm not going to be fast. I'm targeting maybe a 2 hour, 30-minute half marathon, which is like 10:30. No, actually, probably a little slower than that. Probably 11-minute miles. So it's pretty slow, but I'll get it done. I'll put the miles in. Training for a half marathon ends up being running probably 300-ish miles, 200 to 300 miles. On top of that, I figured I'd cover the next event that I'm signed up for right now, which is the Bike to the Bay event in 2023, June 24th and 25th. I am super, super excited about this one because Matt Lee is joining me with his wife. I'm gonna start putting some content and some other things together around this, and now that he signed up and we're actually gonna do it, we may only ride the first day. This ride leaves from Owens Community College, which is just a couple miles from my house. It's in Perrysburg, Ohio, where I live. We ride a very non-straight route to Port Clinton, Ohio. If you look at as the crow flies distance between Perrysburg, Ohio and Port Clinton, Ohio, or the quickest way you could possibly drive there, it ends up being about 35 miles. So they had about 40 miles of zigzaggy ways to get there to get you up to the 75. And when we do the 100, if we end up doing the 100, it's actually even more. But once you get there, you do your ride, and it's not a 100-mile ride. It's well supported, so there'll be 8 or 9 stops. We won't stop at all of them. But there'll be 8 or 9 stops along that route. And you get there, big party at the end. We get tickets to go on a boat. Take a boat over to Put-in-Bay, Ohio, which is kind of like Key West of Lake Erie. And we might party over there. So if we party over there, we won't end up riding day 2. We'll end up biking back or riding back. This event has a $200,000 fundraising goal, and I believe I set the fundraising goal of our team to 10. I think we can crush that. And I might reach out and see if there's anyone else that wants to come along with us. I can't put everyone up at my place. I can try to get an Airbnb big enough to accommodate a couple more people. I probably will. I'm probably going to book that when I get home. But yeah, it'd be good to see even more people. So kind of like the last thing I wanted to cover on this is, I've been going on this this thing here with this guy named Ken Pyle, just kind of going back and forth with him on LinkedIn over this Screen Connect thing that he found that none of us really consider to be a vulnerability, and he just keeps going on and on and on about it. I've engaged him a couple times in comments. He's actually connected with me privately. And in the private connection to me, he sent me a ton of messages, and some of which he's having a full conversation with himself. It's kind of crazy, and I kind of don't understand what he's after there. But it's clear that he doesn't understand some amount of the code signing certs. This latest post here is basically indicating that that the code signing cert should be revoked because he can edit the binary that you download with Screen Connect, and it still passes the signature. What he doesn't understand is that's actually by design. I ended up sending him the last message, or the last thing I commented on, and he's not really engaged since then, was a link to the Authenticode docs and how those signatures work. And there are places you can store configuration data in the binary that don't actually get hashed, and they don't actually apply to the certificate. And that's what Screen Connect's doing. It's actually doing it in not the way I would do it. It's kind of just appending the configuration data onto the end of the signed binary, so you can edit anything in there and not mess with the signature. There are other ways that are better that they could do that, using some extensions actually in the signing process that don't get signed. That will pass the more strict signing checks in Windows. But yeah, this guy, he just keeps going on and on. And it's gotten to the point now where he seems kind of a little crazy. I don't know. I'm trying not to call people crazy, but this guy's kind of he just won't stop with it. So we'll see. But anyways, that's all I got today. I try to keep these things right now because I don't really have a lot of community engagement on them. I try to keep them to about 15 minutes, and I see we're getting up there. So until next time, I will talk to you all later. And thank you very much, and see ya. Bye.